What's up, Digital Collective? This is Rashina.
And so,
It's saying we got a power-packed show for you guys today. So we know that the government is shut down right now, currently, right? A lot of people were reporting on that. A lot of people talking about the ETF applications being held up because of the shutdown. But let me tell you, while the government is shut down, there are a lot of companies that are not. They are building $1 billion XRP treasuries.
mhm.
While the government is on pause. So these companies are still building, and so should you. So stay with us for this video because we're going to break it all down. And before we do, look at this Digital Collective family. Look at it. My husband has on one version. I don't know if you can see my shirt good, but it says Digital Collective right there. And then mine says, what is it on the back, Sean?
Truth, clarity, and I can't
Legacy.
see that legacy.
Yes, legacy, right? On the back of yours, Sean, what you got?
Let's turn it around.
Romans, hey, scoot over a little bit towards the camera, a little bit, yeah, the other way. Yeah, right there. You close up on it though. You're too close to the camera. Go for yeah. Romans 8. There you go. Romans 8:28. There we go. So anyway, guys, we had to show off our merch. Come on, now we're gonna get to the good stuff, but we had to show off our merch first. And it's not our merch, family. We built this for you to represent the Digital Collective 828. You guys are a part of the family, a part of what we've been building, and we're so excited. So we would love to see you repping your DC 828 wear. And it's about a statement. It's not about just us. It's a statement of what we represent: truth, clarity, and legacy. So let's just jump right in. So about these corporate treasury announcements, and guys, we apologize. I have been under the weather for the past week, so I'm building up my strength. I'm still recuperating, but I had to get back on here for you guys. So bear with me with my cough a little bit, but I wanted to get this news out here to you guys. Here I go. So XRP, right? And these corporate treasuries. We have, I think, about 8 or 9 companies that we have checked out that have put out information that they are going to be buying XRP to support their corporate treasuries. Right. So these companies feel good about it because why? Because there's legal clarity that's already been out there. We have the Ripple SEC blip in the map that's been straightened out. We got the Genius Act. Also, we got and I think these companies are wanting to do first mover advantage even before the ETFs are finally approved. They can have their things out there even before the ETFs are approved. So the first company we're going to talk about is Evernorth Holdings. They have a NASDAQ listing that's pending. They made this announcement on October 20th, 2025. PR Newswire and Reuters. They're raising over $1 billion through an SPAC merger with Armada to create a XRP-based treasury. So the investors are,
Go ahead.
the investors are Ripple Labs, SBI Holdings. Some of them are Pantera Capital, Kraken, GSR, and Chris Larkin. So
This is where I'm gonna jump in. I don't think people
okay,
understand how important this is for XRP.
okay,
It's gonna jump off in the first quarter of 2026, and after
okay.
it's been signed in, they give them 10 days to start buying XRP. And you know where they're gonna start buying XRP? Guess, off of the exchanges. So we already know when they start. They're gonna talk about now. When they do that, they got to buy from somewhere. So therefore, they're gonna be buying off the exchanges. You know what that calls that what we're about to see is gonna be a supply shock. Because my wife just said about the ETFs, they hadn't even got those. They've been on the delay. So when they start buying ETFs, these companies for the ETF, because they got their own
When they get
XRP,
approved,
they got their own XRP. Remember that. And now you come at Evernorth talking about they want 1 billion XRP in their treasury reserve, and they're gonna be buying it off the exchanges. I think the exchanges is gonna be really wiped out, and you won't be able to buy XRP anymore unless you buy it through an ETF.
yeah. And then when you buy through ETF, you don't own the asset.
Correct. Major. I mean, this is really major. Even with what my wife was saying, the government shutdown. These things is is still taking place. I want you to see, ain't nothing stopped. Nothing. Everything has been going higher and higher.
But we only own company number one. And I said Evernorth Holdings, they want to raise $1 billion for this initiative. Now here again, like my husband said, this is an announcement only. It could make the XRP the first digital asset used as a corporate reserve across sectors. The target, like my husband said, is Q1 2026, and actual XRP purchases begin after the merger. And again, we want to say that this is announced and it's pending completion. We just gave you all the information, but I just want to reiterate that. So that's the first company. So I want you to write these figures down. We started off with Evernorth 1 billion. Number two, the second company, Trident Digital Tech Holdings. This is an older announcement, but all these still make a difference. June 12th, 2025. They plan to raise up to $500 million to build a large-scale corporate XRP treasurer. So Trident wants to keep part of its business reserves in XRP instead of cash. So they have a $500 million plan. It's announced, but it's in progress. Excuse me, it's not completed yet, but that is what they have announced, according to Globe Newswire and Coin
I
Telegraph.
think because of the Clarity Act, none of this stuff have been, it's still is on the back burner. Once that get approved and once they've been signed into law, you're gonna see all these companies coming forward and starting their process with XRP. That's my opinion. But I think once that Clarity Act is signed into law, you're gonna see all this stuff come there forward.
The next company is number three is Webus, and that's an already publicly traded company. Their ticker symbol is WETO. They announced on May 30th and June 2nd, 2025. They filed a 6 form called 6K with the SEC confirming an up to 300 million XRP treasury mandate via Samara Alpha. Uses structured credit lines to build reserve. It's a global logistics company using XRP for fast, cheap cross-border payments and as a reserve.
Now, you got 1 billion, you got 500 million, and you got 2 billion already locked up.
Listen, that's a lot. Just so you know what a 6K is, it's like a press release that goes to the government on how a U.S. company legally notifies investors about big moves. So that's just company number three, right? And this one is still this one is also still in development, but they filed a 6K, so that shows their intent. So now the next company, number four, is Vivo Power International PLC. This is a NASDAQ traded company. Their ticker symbol is VVPR. So what has happened so far is on May 28, 2025, they made this announcement that they raised $121 million for XRP-based digital treasury, partnering with the Flare network to deploy an initial $100 million phase for yield. Basically, it's the Flare staking. We already did a video about that. Earning a yield by temporarily locking your XRP on Flare's network. Listen,
I gotta say something. Listen,
this is
Flare Network and the creator of Flare, and they interview him. Paul interviewed him on his channel, and he came out his mouth. He said by mid 2026 they expect to lock up 5 billion XRP. Now you do the math on that. He's a YouTuber as well. Paul Barron is the guy, and he had the owner of Flare on there, and these was his words. He said he's planning to lock up 5 billion XRP mid 2026. Mid 20 is June.
Listen, things is moving along. Things is moving along. I'm telling you. My gosh. So let's keep going because we got like a couple more companies to give you. So the next company is number five. Well, they announced back in May, this is in Globe Newswire, and in August 13th, they have an SEC exhibit 99.1 that confirms XRPL payment program launch for 6,500 plus pharmacies. The funding is a 50 million equity line of credit. So basically, in simple terms, they're using XRP to pay suppliers and speed up their pharmacy payments. And this is active The payments portion is active, and the treasury portion is building.
Gotcha.
So listen. All right, let's keep going with these companies and their use of XRP. Number 6, Hyperscale Data. This is a company traded on the New York Stock Exchange with their ticker symbol being GPUS. On July 28th and July 30th, PR Newswire, they announced that they're buying up to 10 million in XRP and publishing weekly reports starting August 12th. So it's a data center company that is openly showing its XRP buys every week. This is buying up to 10 million. 10 million. And some people,
Wow.
and it's some people are nervous about getting one.
That's a good one. That's good.
Getting one,
That's
and this
good.
company's buying 10 million.
That's good.
Lord,
But
okay.
you know what though? Just think what you just said. What did these companies know that we don't know? Because 1 billion XRP is not cheap. It's not going to be cheap.
No.
10 million is not going to be cheap. 300 million is not going to be
No.
cheap. So they buying all these
Listen.
XRP. Why? Why? Just ask yourself why they
Why?
buying
Because
all these XRP.
they need it for a reason. They need it for a reason. They're using it for its utility, number one, or either they're using it because they know it's a store of value.
Mm-hmm.
So a store of value, just like anybody who buy a house, you buy it because it holds value, right? So
Right.
it's a store of value, or they use it for its utility. One or the other. But hey, you ain't got to tell me twice.
Ah.
Okay. So number 7, Nature's Miracle Holding, it announced on July 23rd, 2025 via PR Newswire and internal company documents, their own internal company documents, launching a 20 million XRP treasury program funded from equity raise. So this is an indoor farming company putting part of its capital into XRP for long-term growth. Just what I said, store of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to, you know, they see something that can hold value and increase in value, appreciate.
Right.
All right. So listen, this is a farming company. Listen, so this really diversifies industries that are even involved with XRP. And it shows public support from even non-tech firms when it comes to XRP. So it just strengthens to me XRP's overall image as a universal asset.
Mm.
All righty. We at what was that, number 7? We're number,
You
did
said
I
8
say?
right now.
No. Yeah, okay. That was Nature's Miracle Holding. So number 8 is Work Sport LED. That's on the New York Stock Exchange. The ticker symbol is WKSP. On December 5th, 2024, they filed an SEC Exhibit 99.1 policy allowing up to $5 million in both Bitcoin and XRP. And in January 2025, PR confirms initial purchases from this company. So this is a U.S. automotive tech company holding crypto like a cash reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is a lot of money. I don't know if y'all still adding this all up, what these numbers that I'm calling out. But we got actually 10 companies. So let's keep going. Number 9, BC Bud Corporation. On December 3rd, 2024, via news file and NASDAQ Mirror, it purchased 250K, which equivalent to about maybe 180 K in USD. That was 250K was in Canadian dollars. The 180K is in US dollars, and XRP through CoinSquare. So this is a small Canadian firm buying XRP for diversification.
A small firm. Okay.
So it's proven that XRP is spreading beyond finance. Even small buys, still add steady demand for XRP. And listen, XRP is showing that it's geographically diverse, right? All right, so number 10, this company is called Everything Blockchain Incorporated. And on July 21st, 2025, via Globe Newswire, they announced they added XRP to its digital asset treasury. Their amount is not disclosed. So the block company publicly holding XRP as part of its tech portfolio. So this endorsement is from inside the blockchain industry. So it reinforces XRP as a infrastructure.
Y'all, fam, I want y'all to understand this, okay? If you have doubts, if people put doubts in your head and saying XRP is a scam, whatever the case may be. My wife gave you 10
Do your own
companies.
research.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. She gave you 10 companies, and we didn't even mention the ETFs. Those companies that's going to be having the XRP as well. Y'all got to understand something. And there's 36 billion that locked them in escrow. They can't be touched. Now you do the math on how much is left. When we don't, they have over 1,700 NDAs that had not been released yet. My wife said, do your own research. Please go and do your own research. We just giving you a small percentage of what's out, what have already happened and what is about to happen. This stuff is moving really, really fast. I do believe once that shutdown is over with, they're gonna have to move very, very fast, and it's gonna be mind blowing for a lot of people. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I do know, with all these 10 companies getting all these XRP for treasury, is not gonna be that much left. It's going to be a supply shock.
Yes, because that brings us to what does this mean for everyday people? Like, if you're talking about liquidity and inflows, corporate treasuries, when they get it, they remove XRP from circulation. So that means less supply, less availability of it. And then when they're continuously purchasing it, right, that makes a higher demand of it. So that just increases demand.
Right.
So it's just similar to to me, even to the corporate adoption of Bitcoin from 2020 onward. XRP is being recognized as a reserve asset, and it adds credibility to XRP and long-term demand from regulated entities. Long-term demand. Man, this is just so, I hope that we're explaining it in a way that you can really, really get it and see the magnitude of the information that we are sharing with you. So I just want to remind you, number one, that not all of these things that we've announced have completed yet. Market and regulatory shifts could pause plans like we see with the pausing of the ETF approvals for the pending applications. So you just need to monitor, and follow up with the companies by doing your own research, and looking at press releases, SEC updates, transparency reports, public announcements, things like that to keep up with, what these companies are doing and how they're moving forward. But this again looks like just the early infrastructure phase. We said this several times. XRP is building its rails, right, in this new dynamic initial era, and they're laying the groundwork. So this just shows that they are strategic in their planning. Or nothing has stopped. The momentum has not slowed down, even though the government has slowed down. Everybody is like full steam ahead. So even if a fraction of these corporations go through, it represents hundreds of millions of dollars in steady, non-speculative inflows in the XRP ecosystem. Hundreds of millions of dollars. That's a lot, y'all. And this is just one little piece of the pie. We haven't talked about, again, tokenization that could be put on the XRPL network. We haven't talked about ETFs. There are so many different things. When XRP, their bank charter and the business they're going after for that, there are so many different irons they have in the fire that they are building and getting XRP ready to be unleashed. Like we have a video talking about the $120 trillion tsunami that can't be stopped. And we see why. We're giving you all the information about these companies and what they're doing. We're not here to influence you. We're here to give you the information. And you see, I gave you all the sources as I gave the announcements. You're able to go to these places and look at it yourself to verify and validate these companies and what they're doing. And listen, if Warren Buffett came on the news and said, I'm getting ready to buy $1,000 worth of this company, would you not listen to Warren Buffett?
Yeah,
Like, would you say, maybe I don't have $1,000. I may got 20 on it. I may got 50 on it.
Right.
So that is what we wanted to bring to you, is awareness about what's going on. And we encourage you to verify every company's progress through their SEC filings, their press releases, or their own official investor updates. And at the end of the day, information creates clarity, and clarity creates confidence. And then as you build your confidence, you can create your legacy. What's on the back of my shirt? So listen, the question isn't whether XRP will be a part of the next financial system. It's just how early do you recognize that it will be? So
Right.
that's the question.
It's
All right,
here.
Sean, you got
I mean,
anything
you know,
else
you
for them? Say
now we are not financial advisors. This is only educational purpose. Always do your own research. You know, we ask you to like this video, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. My wife and I, we always read through them and we answer as many as we can. Also, you know, send it to other people, you know, who may think, you know, have some awareness of what XRP is all about. And they just want some more information they can learn about. And always, lastly, if you stay to the end, you already know, put that X in. That's all I got to say. But fam, we appreciate you greatly. Peace.